Only on to tonight, cryptocurrency scams are on the rise right here in Houston, and law enforcement says it is so common it is not a matter of if, but when you may get the call. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on KPRC 2 News at 10. I'm Daniela Guzman.
And I'm Keith Garvin. Fraudsters are posing as law enforcement officers claiming to have a warrant for your arrest, all in an effort to get your money.
KPRC 2's Brett Newberry joining us now with the way these fraudsters want your money. It's really difficult to track and to identify.
Yeah, Keith and Daniela, these scammers want money in the form of cryptocurrency, which can be speedy and irreversible transactions. According to the latest numbers from the FBI, Texans lost more than $411 million in crypto scams last year. And tonight, the Harris County Sheriff's Office tells us they're getting similar reports every single day. The call came from a local area code in the middle of a Tuesday morning.
They say jail time, and that causes you to panic a little bit. And I just went for it hook, line, and sinker.
Lloyd asked us only to use his first name, but less than 2 weeks ago, he spent several hours talking to someone who claimed to be law enforcement connected to a federal district judge.
They were pretty sophisticated and pretty adamant that, it couldn't get off the phone, had to be dealt with right now.
The man on the other end told him he failed to appear for jury duty, had an active warrant, had to pay or be arrested, and couldn't talk to anyone because of a gag order.
One of the things they told me is that if I hung up or lost connection on the phone at any time, that would be considered resisting arrest.
They knew his address and directed him to his nearby bank to withdraw cash, then deposit it to this Bitcoin ATM at a grocery store down the street. You can see a Bitcoin ATM looks pretty similar to a regular ATM machine, but in this case, Lloyd says he put in a phone number and ended up converting tens of thousands of dollars in cash to crypto.
It was almost $60,000.
Gone. It happened in 3 separate transactions, he says, each time the scammers convincing him he messed up the first attempt and had to pay more. How difficult is it then to track that money down?
Once it goes into Bitcoin, it can be transferred from location to location very quickly, and then it's pretty much gone.
Lieutenant Abraham Alanis leads the Harris County Sheriff's Office Financial Crimes Unit, every day getting calls about similar scams, which have exponentially skyrocketed across the country over the last few years.
It is becoming one of the most common because of the technology and the ease to spoof numbers and how hard it is to track.
Lloyd isn't convinced he'll see his money, hard-earned and meant for retirement, again. While he says he'll likely survive the financial blow,
I feel very stupid. I feel very naive. And I'm a little more skeptical about the world than I was before.
It's a hit to the self-esteem, much harder to overcome. After something like this, it's probably hard to trust any phone number that's calling you.
If it doesn't say somebody that I know and have known for years, I don't answer the phone.
So the bottom line here is law enforcement is never going to call you and threaten you with a fine, but Lieutenant Alanis says if you get the call and you're skeptical, you can always hang up and call the law enforcement agency directly to verify. And Keith and Daniela, these scammers are very smart, so the lieutenant told us that they can actually spoof the numbers and then make them appear legit, but even then, it's not a reason to fall for any scam like this.
Right, you're right. Just hang up and call back. That's the safest bet. So that $411 million that you showed us, those are just losses in Texas, but I mean, this is widespread.
Yeah, and that number really might not even capture all of it because the FBI told me in an interview earlier this year, people who fall for these kinds of scams may be embarrassed to even go ahead and report it. So yes, the number could actually be much higher. And as you saw, it's only been going up since 2019.
Wow. Yeah, well, got to be careful. Yeah, I think that was really good advice. If you don't know the number, just don't answer it.
And the lieutenant said you're not going to get in trouble for doing that.
Right. If the call falls, you're not going to get arrested. Like he said, he was threatened. Bryce, thank you.